is a lore deep dive of Raymond's ending and everything revolving around Raymond's past, at least everything I could piece together. Now, this is built off scraps of lore we were given, and a lot of it is just interpretation because we do not know for certain. Keep that in mind. Also, there will of course be spoilers, so this is your only warning. Let's go ahead. So, before we dive into the House of Delver achievement, aka Ending 6, where we free Valerie, let's take a look at the notes and also the tape recordings that you can find in the room right next to it, aka his, basement office kind of situation. I will be reading these notes out loud for you, don't worry, so if you're just listening, I'll take care of that for you. And the first note reads, May 29th, 1983. I'm not sure why I decided to write this. I don't keep journals, but it may be the only way I can deal with what's happened, to get my thoughts out. I thought this was over, but it's happened to David. I remember so vividly what it looks like. I don't have any plan here. I just wanted to write. June 3rd, 1983. I keep thinking about David. I feel horrible. What he became was terrifying. I remember everything, but I haven't seen it in a living person before. I knew it in my gut what was happening, but I couldn't believe it. It's been almost 2 decades. When the body came in, David almost instantly began to become irritable. We both knew something strange was happening, but it was directly affecting him. He felt sick and went home for the day, only to return that evening saying that he felt he had to come back and wanted to work. At that point, I couldn't ignore it. I tried to tell him he was in danger, that this was all real. He insisted on working, became irrational again, and asked to work alone. I again told him what to look for, but he dismissed me. I went and bought a camcorder and told him to at least record anything unusual. I wanted to be able to show him once he was in a moment of clarity, so that maybe he would allow me to help him. But it all happened so fast, and was over. April 3rd, 1985. I don't know what else to do. I feel helpless. I'm so sorry, James. August 10th, 1985. Andrea now. It won't stop. I don't know what to do. Obviously not everyone is susceptible, I've learned that much. Makes me want to never hire anyone again, but I can't lose the mortuary either. Even if I did close, it would still happen to me eventually. November 16th, 1987. I'm back to writing here again. It's been so long, I thought it was over, but I guess I've just been lucky. I'm scared. I was hoping this would never happen again, but I have a feeling this is only going to happen more. Poor Angela. This is a horrible existence. I almost fell victim before. It's only a matter of time now until it chooses me. I don't want to be alone, but I think there is no escaping what has happened. I will miss you always, Maria. But it was the right thing to leave you, to keep you safe. I know you would never understand. February 22nd, 1989. I tucked this journal away and forgot about it, and trying to move on. I found it again today, and I guess I have been in a horrible place for a while now. I can't live with all this guilt. I feel so alone. I feel so angry at the life that's been taken from me. I stopped my life to take care of her, and she brought this in. I can't blame her. That's not fair. It's not her fault. I have to find a way to stop this myself. I've just been sitting here huddled up in fear, hoping this won't happen again. That it won't happen to me. I don't have much money, but I need to start researching this in a real way. I need to take control. So, from this journal we can already glean a lot. First of all, the theory that the woman locked in the basement, not Valerie, the other one, I'll show a picture of her right here, is Maria. That is untrue. Maria was likely maybe his ex-wife or ex-girlfriend, but that's not the case. That the woman in the basement is his mother, and I'll prove to you why in just a moment. However, let's continue with some more notes, his research notes to be specific. Dear Mr. Sulla, it was a pleasure working with you, and I'm sorry to say that I simply cannot afford to travel back out to you. I have more questions about the Ethian translations. I was also hoping you could send over the documentations you had shared on quarterletting. Honestly, any documents you could create a copy of and send me would be extremely helpful. The package accompanying this letter contains some of the clay carvings I've made in an attempt to create the symbols you shared. I have also designed a holder for them. My hope is to combine the markings in the holder to comprise a demonic identifier that will also call the identity to it and bind it if correct. The silver capsule in the center of the holder contains the flesh of burned Corvus and is lined with demonic calling runes. Based on our conversations, I believe this can react with fresh blood from the possessed. I wanted to request that you give the contents of this package a look and let me know if this seems like a viable method to bind an entity. With privacy also being extremely important to me, I wanted to request you please send everything back, including this letter. All my best, Raymond. Dear Mr. Delver, it's a great shame I'll not be seeing you, but I appreciate you sharing this with me as this does seem to provide a reaction, and what you have made does make sense. It's a very clever way to identify a specific entity. However, I am curious as to the reason for the body identification aspect, as you would need the blood of the possessed inside the vessel, which I assume would already be the case, and tenacity would be obvious. So I don't really see the value of identifying the vessel. However, the demonic identification and binding aspect of this is fantastic. Thank you for sharing your work. It's a great help to mine. As you've requested, I have returned everything with this shipment. With great respect, Akil. So, who is this Akil? Do we know anything about him aside that he seems very familiar with demons? Well, we can glean that Akil is likely from an Arabic country from the Middle East, or perhaps even Egypt or another country in Africa, as Akil translates to intelligent or wise one in Arabic. So from this, we can certainly glean that Raymond learned a lot from this Akil Salah, likely creating the markings we use nowadays. But how does this play back to figures like Valerie or even his mother? Here we have a video that you can find in another room in the basement, and if you put it in the TV, you can watch it. I'm going to play it in full. It's roughly about 3.5 minutes.
It is September 3rd, 1987. Video log of any photos and audio recordings, 1967 to 1970. I've had some time to process this. It's been about a year now. I thought I loved her. I stayed by her side through all of it. Years of my life just gone. I believe the seizure that started all this was a result of its arrival. I think her body couldn't handle the possession, and it caused it to shut down. After the seizure, she would lay in bed most of the day, occasionally shuffling to and from various rooms in the house. I would often find her facing a wall or corner in random rooms and have to walk her back to bed. One day, she stopped getting up. She would simply lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, muttering to herself in what I believe now to be a demonic tongue. I think that was when I truly lost her. But it made everything easier. I didn't care anymore. I hated her. After my 3 years around the body, I now believe I was experiencing early signs of possession myself, near the end of 1965. I remember where things began to feel different. Small things. Lightheadedness, sensitivity to sound, headaches. The littlest things irritated me. I would find myself snapping back into lucidity in random locations of the house, not remembering where I had been or how much time had passed. It was when the body fell apart in my hands that I realized I'd been hallucinating, that I had been missing large chunks of time. Even if a demon is not yet inside, it has amazing power over its victim. There are a number of symptoms that, looking back, I believe were signs of the possession. The first but least helpful sign being the seizure. This alone wouldn't be enough evidence of possession, obviously, but it's worth noting. After this event, she would wander aimlessly, mumbling to herself. She would become irrationally angry with me at any attempts to help her. I began to notice wounds appearing all over. Lacerations, bruises, and unexplained scarification. She stopped eating, drinking, and eventually gave up all motion. After the body became fully bedridden, the only movement left was the periodic twitching in the extremities and rapid, shallow breathing. Muttering to itself, it would stare up at the ceiling without blinking. It was around that point that I observed the eyes had turned yellow, and the skin appeared to decay. All of this was noted with little concern, as I was already deep under its manipulation, and I had given up caring.
Do you recognize the woman from that video? That's his mother. That's the woman in the basement that he got flesh from to tattoo himself with. Speaking of, we can also hear her in this tape recording. I'm going to play it in full again. It can be quite hard to hear. I'm going to try to vocal isolate it to the best I can.
The cord's right there. You can just hand me that. Thank you. 1041.
Where should I be for this?
Over here is fine.
Alright.
Stay to the side of the room, though, please.
Is me being here going to upset anything?
No, this is a very unique case, and I think I would like you here. Could you help me put this over there? What's that?
What was that?
Quiet, please. Who's still here?
Screaming.
Tell me your name.
She can feel her flesh rotting. Always bleeding, begging, bleeding, begging.
This body does not belong to you. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
Simple flesh is not my bride. I believe with brothers on the threshold to my glory. I have lingered love and no God, no prayer will save you. Only one may deliver the glory of my house. Let me out, Raymond.
You've taken enough from me! Burn in hell!
She already is.
Good! What?
Today is the day of this soul's redemption. Most glorious Prince of the
Heavenly Army, Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in our battle against
principalities and powers, against the rulers of this world of darkness.
Oh, Raymond. I thought you were smarter than
In
that.
the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, bring the powers assigned to the sword of the serpent.
Say that! Oh, Master Pesky. The good is perfect in content. You need a new shepherd.
As wax melts before the fire, so the wicked perish in the presence of God. In the name of the Holy Spirit, reveal your name to us.
My name is beyond your knowledge.
Hold her down! Place the Bible on her! Behold the cross of the Lord. Submit to his divine grace, and reveal your name. You will release this woman on your wicked wrath.
I will torture this most slut soul for my pleasure until the day I claim what is rightfully
mine.
Hide you from us, whether you may be unclean spirits, all satanic powers, all infernal invaders, all wicked legions, assemblies and sects. The Most High God commands you.
Yours is my calling and belongs to you. You are too late for salvation, Raymond.
I will have my bride.
Hide you from us! Begone, Satan! You're gonna
Well, that was a lot. One thing I want to point out, however, is the use of the name Satan in correlation to Raymond's mother. This will come up later again, I promise. Because of this, I would say, timeline-wise, this is probably placed in the early to mid 1970s. We can also, from this encounter, hear that Raymond is distraught and perhaps even injured in some form, which lines up because in the diary he does mention that he came close to possession, and he mentioned it in the videotapes as well. He did mention that it takes some time for possession to take hold, so I'm going to put his possession around roughly the late 1970s to perhaps even 1980. And from this tape recorder here, we can also hear it from his own viewpoint.
This is Raymond Delver. I know this will sound crazy, but I believe I am being possessed. If I am to disappear, know that it was not of my own free will, and that I am a danger to anyone I may encounter. I should be killed on sight. This sounds terrible, but the woman locked in the basement must also be killed. For anyone that may encounter this, if you are experiencing possession, the blood of the possessed will react to the name of the demon present. Injecting the blood of the possessed into a deceased body with demonic tendency will act as a reagent for revealing possession and form the foundation for binding the demon into the body. Then it can be marked with its name and burned. This should banish the demon. I'm sorry for what I've had to do. Know that it was only ever done to stop it all.
This can also be confirmed when in the videotapes he mentions that one of the first symptoms is a lack of lucidity at times. This is also something we can see in Rebecca occasionally when you play as her in the game. How does this tie back to Valerie? Now we are getting to ending 6. Finally, 17 minutes into the video, I'm sorry. Now, analyzing Valerie's case. Valerie is never once mentioned in the journal, which leads me to believe that her possession was semi-recent. I'm going to guess maybe 1995, just 3 years before Rebecca comes to Riverfield's mortuary, perhaps even a little bit sooner. I would guess shortly after the journal finishes off, she becomes possessed and is locked down here for blood. Now, when we free Valerie, which is a stupid fucking idea, but when we free Valerie, Raymond comes to our rescue, and Valerie does the whole spiel of "I've waited for so long, and now," quote, "It seems this demon wanted a host that is clearly not trapped in a fucking box." Makes sense from a demon standpoint, but what matters comes like 5 seconds later when 1v1 Raymond and demon? Bet.
Rebecca?
Raymond wins. Raymond This scene matters. Look back. The demon looks terrified when it sees the markings on Raymond's chest. We'll get to that in a moment. Now we get a good look at Raymond's chest. I never thought I'd be analysing chests in a video, but hey, there's worse I could be doing. At first glance, we see all 3 demonic houses, and a symbol in the middle. The first thing we can glean is a satanic cross, right slap dab in the middle. But what is the rest about? We see similar markings here, for example, on the back of the Bible that was presumably placed on Raymond's mother, the exact same symbol. Furthermore, we can see the symbol on top of Raymond's mother when we see her trapped in the basement. So what does the symbol mean? Why is it everywhere and why is it on his chest? Well, here comes my personal theory. I think this symbol represents Satan himself. This is reaffirmed by the tape we just heard, where the priest calls the demon Satan. Why do I think this? Well, the symbolism that Raymond's mother started, all of this brought in every house of demons and started this entire chaotic scenario, leads me to believe that she is literally the conduit that is creating all of this mess. And if her body were to be destroyed, it would just go to Raymond. I think those sigils on his chest could be a form of protection, or a form of binding that he knows goddamn well that he is up next, but perhaps these symbols could be used to control. We don't know for certain, but that is my theory, which would also explain why the demon, after seeing those sigils, was so afraid. Perhaps it saw him as some kind of master of some sort. Perhaps this is a Demon Slayer reference, who knows? But it would also explain why he's taking flesh from a possessed body and tattooing himself with it. Perhaps this shows other demons that he has beat a demon, or that he is even a demon overlord or controller or commander, whatever of some sort. Granted, this is just a game theory, and none of it is confirmed, but I think all coming together, let's summarize everything that we've discussed in this video so far. Between 1967 and 1970, Raymond's mother became possessed by Satan himself. This is reinforced by an exorcism tape from roughly the early 1970s. Raymond trapped his mother in the basement and also became possessed through the failed exorcism. The devil could not, obviously, be removed from the body because it is Satan himself, and Raymond, in fear of possession and everything that could potentially happen to him and the few people he does care for, seeks out dear Mr. Salah and finds out about the marks and finds out a way to banish demons. Roughly in 1995, Valerie is the one who becomes possessed, but this time he doesn't kill them because he realizes the importance of demonic blood, and then he keeps her for demon blood. He gets flesh from his possessed mother, who's possessed by Satan, and engraves the carvings on his chest with a mix of demon flesh and demon blood, which makes the other demons cower in fear since it is flesh from Satan himself. Perhaps the symbols show a sign of hierarchy. Scooting back between 1982 and 1990, we talk about the other assistants. This is where I believe figures like David, James, and Angela come in, all that have been assistants and died. Why didn't he prevent it? We don't know for certain. Perhaps the only reason he can specifically have the chest tattoos is because he is related physically and spiritually to his mother and the others are not. And also that would be one hell of a conversation to have with someone. Let me tattoo demonic symbols on your chest, okay? Just trust me, it'll be okay. I don't think people would be too keen with that idea. Furthermore, I believe after this is when Valerie comes in, she becomes possessed, but Raymond finally fucking realizes that this blood could be useful and that he will not have an infinite supply of it if he keeps on killing everyone who is possessed, so he keeps Valerie, also in the hopes of curing her. Now that Rebecca comes in, who is, as we mentioned, susceptible to demonic influence, Raymond mentioned in his journal that not everyone is susceptible. I believe people with strong trauma are susceptible, so not your average happy person, but people who are strongly traumatized or even physically ill. Anyone who is weakened to some extent is vulnerable to demonic influence. Rebecca obviously being extremely vulnerable and having daddy issues, and Raymond has mommy issues, so one hell of a pairing they are, comes in and kind of fucks everything up for him, which is something the demons expected and even wanted to happen. They saw a chance and they took it. If you look at the different demons within the game, they do not seem to get along or work together very well. This does line up with biblical demons that are highly competitive and want whatever they can get for themselves. But in this case, it seems they are working together because, well, Raymond is a little bit of a hindrance for them, so they have to work together. They have to get along, even if it's begrudgingly. We can see, for example, with the different houses that are associated with different demons, like for example, the woman, the mimic, or the shadow man, they never appear simultaneously, they always appear separately. They never appear in one event together, they don't seem to be working together, nor do they want to. I believe Raymond is playing off that weakness that they do not wish to play together, and the only thing they have in common is that they're all demons and they're all subservient to their overlord, which, as I previously stated, could be trapped within his mother. That would also line up with everything we have discussed earlier. Now, where this continues, I don't know, we've hit a dead end. We'll have to find out in future updates if there are any. I'm praying they are, and I also hope I'm pretty close with this theory because I've sat down and been looking at this for fucking months, and I've come to the conclusion, TLDR, too long to fucking read, Raymond's mother is Satan, aka she's possessed by the most powerful demon as shown by the symbol above her head and the symbol on the Bible that was placed on the chest and the symbol on Raymond's chest. He either himself is part demon or symbolizes that he has quote-unquote defeated the demon overlord, which causes the demon in the scene where you free Valerie to look afraid of Raymond. Raymond's mother is the catalyst for all of this. She started it, and well, with her it's presumably going to end. Or the demon carries on onto Raymond, and this is very deliberate on his part. Thank you for watching. I hope I'm not rambling too much. I will make a part 2 if you have any more questions. Like and subscribe.